Is 2020 Mercedes GLB an affordable family luxury SUV? Is it a good daily driver? How much does it cost? What options are available? What is this car? Who is it for? These and other questions is what I'm gonna try to answer for you today. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to Accent on Cars. My name is Elvin and in today's episode we're gonna review 2020 Mercedes GLB. We're gonna talk about its exterior and interior design, infotainment, driving and handling characteristics. We're gonna talk about its negatives and positives. So this and other questions is what I'm gonna answer for you today. Let's get started. Before we get started, after you are done watching this video, please drop a comment or like the video or subscribe to the channel to support the channel. As a new YouTuber, I get really excited and celebrate each like, comment or subscription. And I even make this like little happy dance to celebrate it. Not something your typical YouTuber with millions of subscribers does. So if you want to support the channel, if you like the content, and if you want to make me, the creator of this content, happy, please subscribe, like, and drop a comment. Thank you. First of all, what is a GLB? It's Mercedes-Benz's new compact family luxury SUV. It sits between GLA, their smallest SUV, and GLC. I think it actually replaces GLK that got discontinued last year or 2 years ago. And to me, I think it looks more like a GLS. In fact, I think it looks like if a GLS and GLE made it and the baby GLB was born. It's based on an A-Class, a small hatchback from Mercedes. It's the same front-wheel drive architecture that they've raised and turned into an SUV. By default, it comes with a front-wheel drive only, but you can get it with four-wheel drive 4MATIC system for additional money. This car actually is a four-wheel drive, but I should say that most of the time, 85–90% of the time, it's still front-wheel drive, and it does feel like a front-wheel drive car, but it can send power to the rear wheels as it needs to, let's say on a slippery surface or as you accelerate. It actually isn't that small as you think it should be. In fact, I think to me, like from outside, it even looks bigger than GLC. It's not, it's just a tiny bit smaller than GLC, but it looks bigger than GLC thanks to its boxy design. And you know what, you can get this car with a third row seats if a 7-seater is what you're looking for. Yes, you heard me right. This car comes with optional third row seats and can be a 7-seater if that's what you're looking for. So who is this car for? Mercedes-Benz advertises this as a affordable luxury SUV for people who are living active lifestyle. So mostly singles or families with no more than 2 kids who like going for hiking, kayaking or skiing, and thus the rugged and more boxy design. And but like I said earlier, you can get this car with an optional third row, and you can put the kids back there so it can seat up to 7 people. But in that case, you are losing much of the cargo capacity for carrying your hiking or kayaking stuff, unless you get a roof box that Mercedes-Benz will sell you for almost $700. Let's talk about the exterior design for a second. If you compare it with a GLA that's smaller and has more feminine and cuter design, this one has more boxy, rugged, and unisex design that will be suitable for larger audiences. Look at the lines, they're mostly straight, angled, and make the car look just more rugged. The headlights are more square than most of the newer Mercedes-Benz models. I'd say they are reminiscent of its older brother GLA and GLS's headlights. They look more like headlights on one generation older Mercedes-Benz's, and they have a totally uniquely shaped, like totally different shaped daytime running lights. Other than that, we are seeing the design language similar to other Mercedes-Benz SUVs. That's true about the grille design or this protective chrome elements on the bottom of the front bumper. But I should say that these are actually a fake chrome. They are not like real chrome. So if you are gonna take this car for a serious off-roading, I say serious, you can't really take this car to a serious off-roading. But if you're gonna do like some off-roading stuff in this car, just know that the protectors are not real chrome and you might scratch them. So yeah, just be prepared that you might need to repaint them or get them retouched after some off-roading sessions. If you look at it from the side, you can see that the window line is kind of going upwards, which I think kind of indicates that this car can be a 7-seater. In general, the design of it is unique. It doesn't look like GLA, GLC, or even GLE. I'd say it looks more like a GLS, especially if you look at it like from this angle. Here, if you look at it like from this angle, it really does look like a GLS. Taillights appear to be more aligned with Mercedes-Benz's new design language, both in terms of design and the shape of these LEDs inside them. We've seen this in other Mercedes-Benz SUVs. Now on to my least favorite element of the exterior design. I'd say I hate this new trend in car design that most manufacturers use nowadays. I'm talking about this fake exhaust tips. Yes, they are fake. You can say I can put my hand in here and there's plastic down there. There's nothing. What is this? Is it a storage? Is it meant like to be a compartment for something that you want to hide away from general public? I don't really know. It just looks so ridiculous. The real exhaust pipes are down there. So all of this is just fake and I hate it. By the way, this like chrome kind of like trim over here is also a fake chrome. It's just a painted plastic. So if you scratch it, it might be not easy to retouch them or repaint them. You can get this car with like keyless entry, which I like. It's a very convenient feature. This car is actually equipped with a keyless entry. Basically, you just keep the keys in your pocket, and as you come to the car, you kind of put your hand over here and the door opens. And to lock it, you push this and the doors will lock. But that's kind of like an older technology. The progressive part of this is that you can get in this car if you have an NFC technology enabled smartphone. So basically you would just like put your cell phone next to it and you could get in the car. But I think that only works with Android smartphones at this point, although I may be wrong. Okay, before I forgot to say this, guys, there's one thing that's really annoying about this car and I hate it. Sorry to say that. I think I'm using that word a lot today, but there's something really annoying about it, and that would be the doors. The doors are really hard to close. And don't get me wrong, don't think that I'm, like someone who like doesn't have enough muscle power. But each time I try to like close them, I smash them pretty much, but they still won't close. And I'm gonna show it to you. Like, don't think like, again, I'm making this up, but it's so annoying. I think that when you buy this car, for the first week or so, you're gonna definitely have that problem a lot. You're gonna swear at these doors a lot because you will think that you've closed them, you hit them pretty much, then you'll get in the car and then the message will pop up and saying, bam, 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 the rear door is open. Damn it, again. Let's put this on. Reverse. Again, this door is... Why won't you close? Oh, front door, damn it. And let me show it to you, let me demonstrate. Not locked. So it takes quite a muscle. You actually have to kind of like pull them and like smash them really well in order to lock them or to close them. Okay, let's talk about the interior design. This is the area in which this car really shines. Interior design is very modern and aligned with the company's latest design language. So let's get in the car for a second and close the door. They've used like great materials everywhere. You have like a leather material over here. This particular car doesn't have a leather option, so this is just MBUX or Mercedes-Benz's fake leather, but it's pretty good. It's durable, it feels real, it's soft, and you have like soft plastic everywhere around here. And I should say that Mercedes has taken the soft plastic to the next level. I have a soft plastic in my W211 E-Class as well, but this one is so much softer. It feels almost like foamy, you know, like it's that soft. It's really pleasant to touch. And everywhere I touch, like around here, like central armrest, it's all cool and it's very like high quality. Although this interior has common design elements with the rest of Mercedes-Benz SUV lineup, there are some things in here that are unique to the model. And I'm talking about, for example, this, you know, like the plastic trim around the seat controls. You can see that they have like boxy or like more square design to match the car's exterior design, like the boxy exterior design. Sorry, this is what I was talking about earlier. See, the doors are not locked. Damn it, I thought I locked them, but let me do that for a second. Okay, and they use like high quality aluminum looking materials everywhere. This is, I think, is, yeah, this is like this and this are not a real aluminum, they're plastic, but it doesn't matter because you know, they just look and feel so great that you wouldn't even like care that this is a plastic. And you can see that this door like handles, they are so big. Usually this kind of door handle belongs in larger SUVs such as G-Wagon, GLS, or Lexus GX460 lifestyle. It's like trying to tell you, I'm not small, I'm a big car. So the central dashboard, let's look over here for a sec. Central dashboard looks great. It shares a lot of design language with the rest of Mercedes-Benz cars. So we have wide dual screens over here, and this one's comes standard. You cannot get this car with your traditional instrument cluster with analog speedometer and analog tachometer, for example. Regardless of which trim you get, you're gonna get two screens. The difference is just that as a base model, you get 7-inch screen, and optionally you can you know, get a bigger 10-inch screens for additional money. But I should say that that's kind of like a negative aspect about the screens, as other Mercedes models offer 12-inch screens, but GLB in GLB you can go up to 10. You can't go beyond that. And you see like all this like materials over here. Again, like they must be like plastic, but they feel so real. They do feel like aluminum. Air outlets, I love them. This design from Mercedes-Benz, I think, is one of the best designs for air outlets. They look like turbine engines, don't they? And you know, optionally, this is an option. This is not a standard thing, but optionally you can upgrade for illuminated air outlets, and they will change the color to match the, you know, ambient color used over here and over here, as well as down over here. So it's just a nice touch, and it looks really cool, especially at the nighttime. So there are like 5 air outlets just for the front passengers to give you maximum settings and, you know, maximum flexibility in terms of where you want to direct the air. To turn them on or off, like to close like them, you just turn them, and they have this nice like weight to them. You know, when you turn it and it clicks too, it just feels so great. I could do this all day long. I love it. You see this like large aluminum, again, I don't know if it's aluminum or not, most likely not, but it feels so real. Aluminum looking trim over here. Again, this is like something that is usually you know, inherent in larger SUVs, but I want to say that this aluminum trim and the glossy plastic that they've used around here and around here are the two negatives about this interior, for 2 reasons. The reason one is that this you know, glossy piano black plastic, whatever they market it as, I think they call it piano black, looks amazing. It really, like, look at this, it looks great, doesn't it? But they get stained all the time. All your fingerprints will be all over it. Plus they reflect, like this one and this plastic over here, they reflect a lot of sun in your eyes. And I'm not making this up, guys. You know, oops, can I adjust the camera? yeah, like several times when I drive this car, like in the morning time or in a very sunny weather, they will reflect the sun in your eye, and you'll be like this all the time. You like try to move your head around to find the position where it doesn't, that the light doesn't come in your eyes. And at the sunset, when the sun is behind you, let's say you are moving towards the east, and the sunlight comes from the rear of the car, it hits that this like plastic trim and reflects right in your eye. If you have one of these, let me know in the comment section if you have had this experience, but it happens for me all the time. Now, other thing that I find interesting about this interior is that there is no cover. Usually Mercedes-Benz has like a sliding cover over here. You push it and it closes this section, but not in this car, which is weird because I've seen the European presentation for this car, and that one had a sliding door. I don't know if it's like specific to the US cars or to this car in particular, but to me it would be nice to have a sliding cover to kind of like close this area when you are not using it. So cup holders, we have two cup holders for large and small cups. You can see they're like flaps. You can like fold them down if you are not using the cup holders and you want to put something else in here. There are many USB ports in this car. All you get in this car is USB Type-C. So make sure you get a dongle, and Mercedes-Benz will sell you a Mercedes-Benz branded dongle for $25, and you get your standard power outlet. There's a lot of storage. So in terms of storage, it's great. And this touchpad is awesome. I love this touchpad, and I like that there is like handrest. You can put your like wrist on this while controlling the touchpad. We have one blank. This car doesn't have surround 360 camera, but if had, the button for that would be over here. Otherwise, we've got pretty much all the other options. This button controls your dynamic settings. You can go between, let me show you. So you can go between individual, sport, comfort, eco, or off-road modes. It's funny like that this car has a dedicated off-road mode, but why not? Hey, it's a four-wheel drive car, and the animation changes as you choose different driving modes. Individual, you can like adjust the steering, throttle response, and transmission individually. So for example, you can have engine in sport but transmission in comfort, etc. AC controls are pretty much standard in various Mercedes-Benz models nowadays. So what I don't like about modern Mercedes-Benz AC controls is that there is no off button for the AC. In my car I have like a button to turn it off immediately. In this car you have to turn the vent speed, keep turning the vent speed down all the way until it reaches until it shuts itself off. Sometimes in summertime when the vent speed is at high, it's a little annoying because you have to push this several times. I wish there was just a button to shut it off. And what else? Obviously we have a engine start and stop. That's pretty standard nowadays. Steering wheel, it uses it uses the new Mercedes-Benz steering wheel design. Looks amazing. I love it. The leather around here is again, this might be not a real leather, but regardless, it just feels great. It feels awesome, and it's pleasant to hold on to it. It's not too slippery, but it's not too like sticky. I guess it's just perfect. I like this design, but I should say that I don't get why Mercedes-Benz have moved cruise control buttons to the steering wheel. In the past, we would have just a handle like this on the column, and you would just touch it, and as soon as you touched it, the car would be on the cruise control. It would activate it immediately. But now they do like this, pretty much what, like, I don't know, Toyotas do, and I don't like it because you have to push this to turn it on, then you set your speed using this, and cancel and restore are separate buttons. That's what I don't like, is that you have to turn it on in order to set it, versus in older versions you just touched it and it would be on automatically. Maybe they did it to match this side, I don't know. But this controls over here control this screen. You can see right now I'm going through multiple options. And you know, screens are very adjustable. They are great, and you control them using this touchpad. And this one over here controls what you see on this screen, on the main screen, main infotainment screen. So let's go home, for example, and we can switch between menus. The screens are great. They are very colorful. They are vivid. The picture itself is awesome. However, there's something that I don't like about this car. I'm sorry, about this screen, and let me show you what I mean. So let's put this to a speedometer and the right side. I'm sorry, not this one. The right side to the tachometer, and you will see that the first negative is that there is just too much. There is so much information on this screen that at any given time when you glance at it, when you look down and you're trying to find a certain information, it takes a lot of time, like a second or two, for your eyes to filter out the noise and to focus on what you want to see. That is annoying. I do realize that, you know, adjustability and giving you as much information as possible is great and customers love it, but there's just too much going on the screen at the same time. Also, I don't like that this pictures of the speedometer and tachometer are very flat. You see they're like very flat. I think they're lacking some depth to them. Some 3D effect would be really nice to make them look like a real analog speedometers, because your traditional analog speedometer wasn't sitting like flat against this glass. They were like indented a little. So that's a little unusual and something that you will notice. And MBUX, Mercedes-Benz's new...
How may I help you? What can I do for you?
Cancel. This is another annoying feature, guys. Each time you say Mercedes-Benz in this car, the voice, the voice activation system activates, and this lady asks you, "How may I help you?" Just shut up. I don't need you. It's very annoying. You just say Mercedes, and she will speak. Anyway, what I was saying is that this MBUX system for Mercedes-Benz is awesome. I love it. It's so much better than the previous command screens or system that Mercedes-Benz was using. By the way, the screens are touchscreen, I forgot to say. But, it's a little laggy. It's especially laggy if you go to a menu that you haven't been in for a while. You see, like, there's some laggy, like animation, there's waiting time. I think they could have improved this system further, because this system has been in the market for a while now. They could have just improved this and make it even better, but they haven't done so. There's some like lagginess, especially because the screen, the colors, and the skin in the UI is so great, so vivid that it almost looks and feels like your tablet, like your iPad. So you expect iPad or tablet level performance from it, and then it just doesn't give you that. Sometimes it's like laggy and makes it... See, I clicked on engine and not much happening. Yeah, so that's a negative about this screen, but overall it looks good. It doesn't look bad. And you may have a question in your mind: is it easy to see the screens when a direct sunlight hits it? Yes, there are. If it's dusty, then it might be a little problematic, but otherwise they look fine. Seats are very great. I like the seats. I mean, very great is probably redundant, but they are good. You can get these seats with like a kind of like simple seats. I don't know, simple setting seat, just like this ones, or you can get the ones with what Mercedes-Benz calls multi-contour seats. Basically, you can like adjust the side bolsters, and you get a few extra settings. With this one, all you have is just a lumbar support over here and extended seat cushion. I like that this extended seat cushion is manually extendable like this. So this is the same design as in most BMWs or C-Class. And I love this one much better than what we've seen in E-Classes, where this part, the cushion is extendable, but it inflates. And when it inflates, it just doesn't provide as much support as this one, because look how much forward this one slides. So, this is my like comfortable sitting position. I am 5.8 or 178 centimeter if you happen to be from Canada or Europe. Yeah, I'm 5.8, and this is the position that I sit in comfortably. This is because of the various settings, I think most people will find the comfortable positions for themselves to sit in the car. And the sitting position is generally high. The seats do go lower, but regardless how low you go, you feel like you're sitting high, which is great. That's what this car wants you to feel. And because it's like, again, it tries to seem bigger than it is, and I like it. There's more than enough. Like, look at this. There's like so much space in here. There's so much room between my legs and the front seat. And what I really like about this seats is that, if I may show it to you even closer, is that this whole bottom part, the cushion, it like slides back and forth. Also, you can tilt. Let me get the camera. You can see that there are like rails, and the seat moves back and forth to give you more space. And the back of the seats are reclining as well. You can fold them down, but you can also adjust the angle for more comfortable sitting position. That's great. I think any SUV, any car that calls itself an SUV should have that. What I don't like about these seats though is that they're pretty much flat. They don't have any like side support, or even the back seats. If somebody goes fast around the corners, you'll find yourself sliding around a little. So let's check the trunk. Trunk has this like easy open feature. You just swing your feet under the bumper and it opens, pretty fast, I should say, and goes really high. So even if you are a tall person, you're not gonna like hit your head. But if you are a shorter person and you don't want this trunk lid go this much higher, you can stop it at any position using this button, and it will remember. So next time it will not go as high as it does now. Trunk space itself really seems not that big. Mercedes claims that this has 500 liters trunk capacity. Maybe because the roof is tall, but otherwise the distance between like here and the rear seats is kind of like short. It's okay. And there is, under this trunk liner, so I have like tons of crap in here. There isn't much there. There isn't this spare tire. There's a little organizer for storing your stuff. That's it. If I lift it, yeah, there isn't much. I should say that Mercedes has taken this, soft material traditionally used in the trunk of cars, like the trunk liner. I think Mercedes has taken this to the next level. It's just so soft. The carpet is just amazing. Okay, let's see how much it costs. We can see that MSRP for the base price is $36,600, but the price will go up as we add more options. So we will select the 4MATIC. We'll click on build, and now certain colors and options are available at no price. Others come at additional price, and some of the options are contingent on the other options. For example, in order to add this wheels, you have to upgrade to the AMG package. So for now, we will just say we're gonna pick the black one. We are not gonna add the AMG line, night package, none of this. Exterior light packaging with the active LED and adaptive high beam assist is actually a nice option, so I'm gonna choose this one. Panorama sunroof, yes, why not? Illuminated star is a very ridiculous gimmicky thing by Mercedes, so I'm definitely not gonna add that one. Chrome door handles, no, I don't want that. Body color rear spoiler, not critical. And this one, LED logo projectors would be a good option. They are pricey, but they look cool, so I'm gonna choose them. And if you're gonna take the car to off-roading sessions, you may want to choose mud flaps. I'm gonna skip those. Let's move on and choose interior upholstery. I'm gonna choose the MBUX black because the leather comes at additional $14.50. And for the interior, I'm gonna select the spiral look. Moving on, heated front seats, yes. Actually, I want heated and ventilated. You can see that when I click on it, it says that I have to upgrade, so I will do that. Heating steering wheel, since this car is for those who live active lifestyle and might go skiing, heated steering wheel is a very nice feature to have. Ambient color, why not? Third row seats, no, we don't need that. And moving on, premium package with a bunch of safety options. Yes, I do want this. Navigation and augmented navigation and speed limit assist. I think this one is useless because, let's be honest, everybody is using Waze and Google Maps nowadays, which is usually far better than Mercedes, like in-car navigation system. Keyless go, yes. The heads-up display, I would love this, but it's pricey. Premium Burmester surround sound system, yes, definitely need this. And we'll choose the USB-C cable adapter. Wireless charging, not that critical. And moving on. Parking assistant package, which gives you like 360 degrees camera and active parking assist. I park pretty well, so I'm not gonna choose that one, but I do want the driver assistant package. In order to select this, I would have to pay additional $22.50. Moving on. Adjustable suspension, this is a nice feature. Let's move on. None of this service, extended services or warranties I'm interested in. All season floor mats, yes, and all season trunk liner, of course, yes. Let's move on. And we can see that the total has gone up to 50. If I selected other options such as AMG package, etc., the price would have gone even higher. So yeah, I think for the 36,600 you get a very base model with limited options, but the more or less loaded one will cost you about 50,000 and can be even higher if you ticked all the checkboxes in this UI. Right, let's go for a ride and see what this car is like. What driving this car is like and how it behaves. Oh shit. Like I said earlier, you're gonna be very annoyed by open doors. Okay, so one thing you will notice when you get in this car is that it's actually not that short as it seems. It's 4.6 meters long, or 15 feet and 1 inches long car. It's a very long wheelbase. And in fact, it's just only 2 centimeters shorter than GLC. Clearance-wise, it has 200 millimeters of ground clearance. So, it's only really suitable for light off-roading. But with the 4-wheel drive system, etc., you can drive it during a snowy day or blizzard. With the right set of tires, especially, you should be fine. So let's talk about the engine first of all. This car has, the 2 liters inline 4 turbo engine, twin scroll turbo engine that Mercedes-Benz uses in pretty much most of their cars in nowadays, and it produces 256 foot-pound of torque, and I believe 221. I have it written down. Yeah, 221 horsepower. Also in Europe, you can get this car in an AMG version. I think they call it GLB 35, and that engine makes, I forgot the numbers, but I think around 350 horsepower and makes 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds or something like that. Don't quote me on the exact numbers, but it's in that range. And we don't have AMG version over here in the US yet. Maybe it will come soon, maybe not, we will see. It's equipped with 8-speed dual clutch transmission, and that transmission and engine combination makes this car feel faster than it actually is. So for overall average daily driving, there's plenty of power, and there's even plenty of power for merging onto a highway or overpassing someone. The transmission shifts down fast and makes the car feel faster. So I think average buyer will not think that this car is underpowered or anything, but you know, like, I understand all the regulations and emission controls, etc. But this like new turbo charged engines are lacking that low-end torque that we used to have in naturally aspirated Mercedes engines like V6s, etc. I said Mercedes again. Nothing, please cancel. I called her name and she picked up on it. One thing I don't like about the acceleration pedal is that the acceleration pedal itself is too soft. You can't kind of like rest your foot on it. You have to like push it lightly and keep your like feet up in the air like this, because if you are resting your feet on it, and not that I'm a heavy person and I have a heavy feet, the car will just go above like 35, and that's like, you know, might be too much for steady driving and you might get into trouble. For example, this street I'm driving at is 25, speed limit is 25, and I'm going 35. So brakes are good, but they're not like perfect. They have that traditional Mercedes-Benz bite.
How may I help you?
Shut up. I gotta call this car BMW, otherwise she will keep coming up. The brakes, they're good, they're adequate. They have that BMW specific biting. When you touch them, it will start slowing the car down immediately as you push on it slightly. But what it's lacking is that they are too small. I think the brake calipers and the rotors are too like small. Transmission is good, you know, it's behaving great in the city and on the highway too. It's very fast to shift. There is some slight jerkiness. I don't even want to call it jerkiness, but you do feel first to second gear shift or second to third. But after that, third to like fourth all the way to eighth, it's just like butter smooth. You don't feel any transmission shifting at all. But first, second, and third can be, you know, a little jerky, and you feel that the car upshifts or downshifts. It has these paddle shifters, totally useless in this car. Why would this car even have a paddle shifter? Who's gonna take it out on a racetrack? These paddle shifters are as useless as the sport mode in this car, because honestly, like, why are you putting this car in a sport mode or shifting manually? Anyway, I think it's just a marketing thing. Most people love thinking about their cars as of a sporty car, so hence all the manufacturers nowadays have like sport body kits and sport modes, etc. The paddle shifters, what I do not like about them is that you know, when you downshift, let's say, it will only keep the car in that gear that you've selected for 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, it has a mind of its own, and it will say, oh, you're not using paddle shifters anymore. I'm gonna go back up to like a normal, and it will like upshift to whatever gear it sees fit. That's annoying. If you want the car to stay in the gear that you've selected, you have to pretty much pull that down, you know, the pedal that downshifts, and hold it there. That way it will keep the car in that gear. Engine noise. The engine noise could be the only thing that would turn me away from Mercedes as a brand. This four-cylinder 2-liter engines of new engines of Mercedes-Benz, they make a horrible sound. They sound like a diesel from 90s. They're like really loud, and I'm gonna actually record it and show it to you guys. They make a horrible sound, even at idle, or each time like it stops and starts itself back up. Yeah, I don't know. BMW and Audi engines, the same like kind of capacity 2-liter 4-cylinder engines, are so much quieter than Mercedes's latest turbo engines. Suspension is very soft. Surprisingly, this car is equipped with a standard suspension, but you can get this one with adaptive suspension. That's not airmatic, that's not an air sprint, but it's just like adaptive. You know, it has adaptive damping. That costs additional money, like we saw earlier in the configurator. But even without that option, the suspension is very soft. 90% of the time you're gonna love it in the city on the highway, but it acts much better on the highway than it does in the city, because in the city it's a little it's a little bumpy sometimes. I don't know how Mercedes-Benz managed to adjust suspensions in such a way that it's both soft but bumpy at the same time. I don't know. The steering wheel is it's pretty sharp, I should say. You know, I checked it, although it goes almost like 3 full circles from like lock, like turn to turn. But it's pretty responsible for a car of this size. So I think Mercedes has done a good job with this electromechanical assisted power steering. It has a very good turning radius, and when you go around the corner, you know, you're turning like 90 degrees. You can turn the wheel just a little and the car will turn 90 degrees easily. One thing worth noting is that the steering wheel doesn't change in nature that much between sport and comfort settings. In sport, it gets a little heavier, but reaction time doesn't change that much. It does change, but it's not that noticeable. Gas mileage is really, you know, good for the car of this size and weight. Actually, let me check. I've been driving this car like mostly in the city, but I also did do some highway trips. I'm averaging about 22 mpg. Headlights, the car comes standard with a LED headlights no matter what trim you get, but you can get a more advanced version of the LED headlights, like high performance. They can illuminate the corner as you turn in, and they have auto high beam, low beam switch. I should say that that same LED headlights in European versions of this car are much more smarter than what we get over here in the US, because it's matrix LED, meaning there are many little LEDs inside the bulb, inside the headlight. In Europe, they can actually, you know, you don't have to like turn the high beam off. You can leave the car in high beam all the time, and it will like dim a certain sections of the light beam itself to avoid dazzling the upcoming traffic. That feature is disabled over here in the US because of the regulations. The government regulations won't allow for that yet, which in my mind is a bummer, because that's such a great technology. So basically, if you guys are getting high performance version of this LED headlights, all you are getting for that money is auto high beam, low beam, and active corner illumination. That's it. I think in general, you're gonna get this car, and if you can get over the negatives I talked about in this video, then you're gonna definitely like it. This car is like one of those people who make a very great positive impression at the first date. That's what this car is. You know, it pleases you with its handling and driving characteristics, and it is a nice place to be.